guys, I'm sorry I'm not there today, but my little boy's feeling sick. So I made this quick little video just to remind you on how we're going to start today. And this is great for the at-home kids too. But remember, today before you start, make sure you finish your color wheel. If your color wheel's not finished, finish it and put it into Canvas. Second, make sure you finish your plan and put it into Canvas. And that's this one, the Coach Clark design, where you put your artist vision in its 3 to 5 sentences. You choose a stip or pointillism and you make a sketch. And remember, I asked you to draw a rectangle for your sketch so I could see if you're using a portrait paper or if you're putting your paper landscape. That way I can see how you're using your composition. If you don't do that and you just draw on this whole little section, then I can't tell if you're actually using your paper properly in your sketch. But if you actually draw in these sections, I can tell if you're using your paper or if you're planning just to put like something in the middle and that's it, because that's not good composition. But if you take off your whole page, then that's good composition, and we'll talk about that in a second. Whenever you're ready and you turned in your plan and you told me whether it's portrait or landscape and you did a mini drawing in here so I can see how you used up your space, then you're ready to start. And I wanted to remind you about good composition. Some of you were with me last week, some of you weren't, so some of you saw this and some of you didn't. We talked about overlapping is really, really important in composition. There's more to composition, but right now we're just getting the basics. We talked about that touching the sides is really important. And when you have a piece of paper, the sides mean like right here and like up there, not the corners. These are corners. Those are not sides. We're talking about actual touching sides, and you'll see what that means in a second. We talked about no rivers. Sometimes we do have a few rivers and still have a good composition, but in general, the less rivers you can have, the better. And then we talk about negative space. The space that's left over that doesn't have anything should be about medium-sized pieces, not these large pieces. And if you do medium-sized negative pieces, you know that you kind of balance your positive negative space. And portraits are the exception between all that stuff, because usually you just have one sitting person. And a person has so many pieces to them, like their eyes and their hair and their nose and their lips, that they capture the viewer without having to worry a lot about all this other stuff. So I made a video last week, which you saw, that we talked about making a grid and making a really good drawing on your grid. And then I took my pencil. If you don't have a Sharpie, it doesn't matter. I took a pencil and traced my drawing super dark, so that when I put my other paper on top, I can see right through it. I know in the video you can't, but I can in person. So we talked about that. Our actual assignment paper is never going to have a grid or a drawing on it. Your grid and drawing are down here. You need a grid if you chose images off the internet for a reference and that you couldn't draw freehand. And either you gridded them on your phone or you put them in a Word document or a Google slide and you put a grid over it so that you could draw. Now, some of you don't need a grid. So I just want to show you on here, these things are overlapping. They're not in a straight line. Some are higher, some are lower. That's good composition. This cup touches the top of the paper, this side. This cup touches this side. And that bowl of salsa touches this side. They're not corners, though. They're sides. Here, this cup touches a corner. That's just a big coincidence. But I'm talking about one side, two sides, 3 sides of the paper. That's good composition. So please remember that. These are not my ideas. These are the kids' ideas. And those of you who turned these in, you know that that's your idea. One of the young men in the different section, he showed me one that he wanted the baseball. So I basically took his idea and drew it, except I didn't want the baseball in the middle. I wanted it off to the left a little bit because that's better composition. Look at my negative space here where there's nothing. It's not a tiny piece, but it's not huge. Here again, it's a tiny medium piece, not a tiny one. So now I've used my whole page, and this glove is genius because it touches the top, the side, this side, and this side. So this one has great composition. Another young lady turned this one in, and I took her idea, except I didn't finish drawing it because I needed to make the video. But this is an example of, you have this hand overlapping this hand, the ice cream overlaps that hand, and this section is kind of large, but this one's large too, and this one large too. So these 3 negative spaces balance each other out. Here, what you would want to do is you would trace it, real dark so that you can see your actual drawing to it. But regardless if you choose to go with the grid or if you choose to go with the drawing, every single one is going to have that additional paper on top where you can see your drawing through, and you make all your stippling here on top. Okay, so I hope that helps you today. And please be awesome. And I will see you tomorrow. And for those kids that are at home, I'll be on Zoom tomorrow during your class period. So please, not tomorrow, I'm sorry, Tuesday. And I'll be back on Tuesday. So please make sure you guys take care of that and make sure that you turn in your plan before you start and watch your composition. Thank you.